Recording.
Yep, already going. So you're good. Start up whenever.
Let me just put this on real quick.
You gotta be. I feel like you look dumb a lot of the time. Boy, you look extra dumb today.
I don't know what you're talking about. I look great.
Big chain, big hat.
Yep, because the Lions won. Hello, Lions fans, and welcome to a special postseason divisional round edition, episode 25 of Just Lying Around, Detroit Lions podcast presented by the World of Football. I'm your host, Kyle Sutherland, and I am joined by my co-host and brother-in-law, Adam Snow. Adam, how you doing today?
I'm just happy to be here. I'm not wearing a big dumb hat like you are, so that's a positive. When we started doing this show, who thought we were going to get this far? It's unbelievable. We're going to get into it, but I'm just like, holy smokes. This is great.
Yep, well, when you got a big brand and a big chain, you got to have a big hat too. So, yep.
Man, I knew you had a big ego, but dang, even that, can't even fit in that hat. That's a big hat.
On today's show, we're going to go over the Lions' divisional round win against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and look ahead at their NFC CHAMPIONSHIP game against the 49ers. But first, we want to thank you for checking out our podcast, whether that's on the YouTube channel or on your podcast platform of choice. You can find the World of Football and its many offerings on multiple social media platforms. Just check down in the description. And now let's get on to this Lions divisional win against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Let's do it.
So we had the Lions 31, Bucs 23. Overall, first three quarters looked pretty even, but then at the end, fourth quarter, Lions pulled ahead to secure the win against the Buccaneers. So first, we're going to go over the stats here. Jared Goff, 30 of 43 for 287 yards, 2 touchdowns. Amon-Ra St. Brown, 8 receptions, 77 yards, and 1 touchdown. Sam Laporta, 9 receptions, 65 yards. And Jahmyr Gibbs, 9 carries, 4 receptions for a total of 114 yards and 1 touchdown. For the Bucs side, we had Baker Mayfield, 26 of 41 for 349 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions. Mike Evans, 8 receptions for 147 yards and 1 touchdown. And Rashid White, 9 carries for 55 yards. Total yards, Lions had 391, Bucs 408 yards. And time of possession, Lions 32 minutes and Bucs 28 minutes. So,
man,
just looking at the stats here, Lions defense coming up big on the running game, only allowing them, I had it down here, 89 total rushing yards allowed, causing Baker Mayfield to throw the ball in the air, which resulted in 2 interceptions. So that's what the Lions were looking to do.
They came in with a game plan. We knew that both run defenses were going to be great, and for the first half, both those run defenses showed up. I think you got to give Baker Mayfield and those Buccaneers some credit. I mean, we knew Mike Evans or Godwin, one of those two guys, were going to have a day, and not as bad as the last couple of games, but the Lions still allowing a receiver to get over 100 yards receiving. I mean, we knew Mike Evans was going to be a force, and he was. Yep. But give the Bucs some credit there. They did a lot in this game. It really came down to a couple of bad Baker decisions, which were kind of the factor the first time they played. Now, they played a way better game this time than they did back in Week 6. What gets me, though, is that, the Lions not using Jahmyr Gibbs as much as I thought they should have and could have. And when they did, look what happened. He helped essentially seal that game up on the offensive side there in the fourth, late in the third, fourth quarter when they finally decided to use Gibbs to his full effect. So another game where they're outgained yardage wise, but they come out with the W. Like clearly, this is a defense for the Lions that is super bend, don't break. They're going to get their yards. The other team's going to get their yards, but when it comes down to it, can our defense make a play? And as crucial as I have been about this defense all season long, they make the play. Derek Barnes, what a redemption for him after we were all dogging on him back in that Dallas game a few weeks back for not wrapping up Dak Prescott for a safety. And here he is, making a game-clinching interception. And then did you hear his post game after the game?
Derek Barnes? No, I didn't.
Derek Barnes, yeah, he was with Hutchinson and he was talking about catching it in the seam and blah blah blah. And Hutchinson was like, "Stop acting like you trying to sound smart" or something like that. It was a really funny little interview. So get a chance to watch that. It was funny hearing Hutch kind of ribbing his teammate at the end of the game there. But what a moment for the Lions. I mean, I'll stop talking here in a second, Kyle. I want to quickly throw out before you get into your rundown some more. That crowd at the end. The crowd all game long, again, kudos to the people who got to show up. It stinks we didn't get to go this week because I feel like that energy would have been just on another level. And it seemed like it was. That crowd was totally into it. They had the white towels, which I really want one of those towels. I think I know somebody who's going to get me one of those towels that they had at the game. And seeing Hutchinson at the end, just kind of soaking that in, that whole vibe. And the fact that Detroit is now 2-0 at Ford Field during, playoffs is such a cool feeling.
Yeah, speaking of the vibes at the game, I just want to give a quick shout out to NBC today for really screwing up the broadcast for the people at home.
There you go.
For about total of 2 quarters, you couldn't really watch the game.
See, okay, so I was going to ask you, we in our fantasy league group chat, that kind of I thought I was the only one having that problem. And I saw a bunch of people because as soon as that happened, I gave it like 10 seconds. And I was like, I'm not waiting, and I just jumped over to Peacock because I already got Peacock. And man, I'm sorry for people who have YouTube TV and what that whole deal was, just blacking out for 2 quarters. Dang.
Yeah, so Peacock, I think they got a little bit of money today for people wanting to watch the game.
Lions fans just going like, "Oh my god, what's happening?"
But yeah, luckily next week's game's on Fox, so it won't happen again.
I don't know. I had issues with Fox on YouTube TV a couple of weeks ago before the Lions game. It was like during the pregame show that blacked out and I couldn't get back into it. I was freaking out because it was like a half hour before kickoff. Dad was coming over. I'm like, how am I going to watch this game if I can't get it pulled up on YouTube TV? But it eventually figured itself out. But no excuse for that messing up. Come on.
Yeah. So let's while we're at it, let's jump into the defensive side. Like you said, the bend don't break. We got 2 interceptions. One of them at the beginning of the game by CJ, who was talking trash to Baker Mayfield all week and ended up getting.
Did you see at the end of the play when he went up to Baker and flipped him the ball? That was kudos to him. That is trash talking and then paying it off. I love it.
Yep. And then we had the other interception to seal the game by Barnes. We had 4 sacks on Baker Mayfield. They ended up punting the ball 4 times, and third down conversions for the Bucs, 4 of 12, which is big for the defense on the Lions side. And again, only 89 rushing yards allowed. So yeah, defensive side, even though we still got to stop their big wide receiver, whoever they play. They need just to double cover him because Sutton is just getting cooked week after week.
Yeah,
I don't know, if we just got a bad coaching scheme there or what. But
it's hard to tell. Some of those plays, he played really tight. He was doing a lot of the bump and run coverage, and that burned him, especially on that one along the sideline to Evans. Really burned him. the Niners don't really have a guy like a big, like a guy who's just going to go up and make the muscle catch. Like some of these teams we played between CeeDee Lamb and uh, Justin Jefferson and Mike Evans. They got. I think the Niners got more like what the Rams had. So we're going to have to figure out a way to just not let the quick, speedy guys get past them down the field. That's what we got to worry about next week. We'll talk about the Niners in a bit, but
Yeah.
I don't know what they have to do differently. I feel like they could play a little softer. Not like give them 10 yards. I'm saying like give them 6 yards, 7 yards, and just kind of keep a little bit of cushion there. I would rather, have them keep it down there as opposed to, God, these big chunk plays that just shouldn't be happening. Like in defensive backs getting out of position a lot. They got to really nip it in the butt. They've gotten, I won't say lucky. I mean, they've done good at some points, but it's just, this is how many weeks in a row now we're watching our DBs get torched by receivers. I mean, I can't remember the last receiver we held under 100 yards.
Yeah, I just wonder, like, as you watch a game, like, they're different formations. If Mayfield just saw, like, the different formations, like, saw blitz coming, so it was going to be a one-on-one. That's why he threw it to Evans. But I don't know if Purdy's, like, that well-versed in different schemes of defenses, if he'll be able to um, pick that up or not. But, yeah, we'll talk about that a little bit here. I want to jump over to Frank Ragnow. He's a freaking machine. Before the half, he got hurt. And then after the half, it was like, oh my God, is he going to be out? Are we going to have to shift Glasgow to center, get another backup offensive lineman in there? But he stuck it out. I think he felt like there's no way I'm not going to play this game. Like, I'm going to be playing no matter what.
That's
So,
pretty much
yeah.
what he said. Essentially, like post game, I mean, uh, you could just tell that he was like, I think either he either said it after the post game or somebody alluded to it during the game. Like, there's no way. Like, this is one of the biggest games in the team's history. Like, if he can get out there, he had some crucial blocks after that injury that he got rolled up on. Helping get Reynolds in for that touchdown on
Yep.
that fourth down. Like, big. Him just Vita, give him credit. The lineman there for Tampa Bay, give him credit. That dude is an incredible defensive lineman, super powerful. And Ragnar looked like he struggled a little bit, but he got enough of a block on him to let Reynolds kind of shoot through the gap there on that fourth down touchdown. So it's, grit. That's that word we keep hearing in Detroit. It's grit.
Yeah, but unfortunate news. Jonah Jackson did leave the game, hurt as well. He did not return, so I think in the press conference, Campbell said it might not be looking good for him to play against the 49ers either. So
Mm.
we'll have to be on the lookout for what his outcome is for if he's able to play or not.
And who's his backup? I forget the name.
Uh, Awasika or whatever. Whatever.
He, I didn't think he was that bad. I was looking for more of the pressure to come at his position, and I felt
Yeah,
like
he
he
didn't
still
do it.
held his own.
Yeah, he did.
So I'm not too worried. The Lions have good offensive line depth, so I'm not terribly worried. And we'll see how Jackson progresses during the week. Look, we saw what happened with Laporta a couple weeks ago, and at this point in the season, it wouldn't shock me if Jonah Jackson gritted it out. But we'll see. We'll see how bad it really is in the coming
Yeah,
days.
because this is his last year. It's either you play it now and hopefully you can play the whole game and have a good outcome and get a bigger contract, or don't play. And I don't know. It's all about money now for him.
Look, yeah, right now, look, it's not about money. I'm going to tell you that right now. Right now, it is not about money. You are now one game away for playing in a Super Bowl. It is not about money right now.
Oh yeah, I mean
Think about
like
that in the offseason, but right now, he wants to be
yeah,
out there just as much as these other guys.
yeah. We'll see. Also, with that offensive line, Jared Goff, get that contract written up right now. He was cooking when that offensive line was doing their job. He was had all day to throw on the Bucs defense. Throwing it to Jameer Gibbs, Sam Laporta, St. Brown, Williams. Total of 8 different people caught a ball today from Goff. So yeah, this guy, when he's got time to throw, he's gonna slice the defense up no matter what. So yeah.
Something I saw that I want to point out real quick, that Jared Goff is now the third quarterback in franchise history to win multiple playoff games, joining Tobin Rote in 1957 and Bobby Lane in 1952 and 1953. What a great little stat that is. That and the fact that we've had to wait since the 1950s to have another quarterback have multiple playoff wins in a season is unbelievable. And can we just appreciate also for a moment that the Lions have, since 1996, have one conference championship appearance to the Cowboys' 0 championship appearances. And since 2019, the Lions have 2 playoff wins to the Cowboys' 1. So who's America's team now, baby? The Honolulu Blue, that's who.
Yeah.
And the memes, as soon as this game was done, the amount of Lions memes going on out there is glorious, and I love it. I can't wait. The next Sunday can't come fast enough.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. One last thing before we talk about the next game for next week. Big shout out to Brad Holmes. Rookies are making huge plays in playoff games. Their first time ever in playoff games. Gibbs today, 114 total yards. Laporta, 65 yards. Branch leading team with 8 tackles and 1 sack. Then you got Hutchinson, St. Brown, Williams, Iffy, all young players on this team just making big plays out there. So I want to shout them out because if you look at the Bucs, their Bucs team, all the people that are free agent next year, like I think if it was time for the Bucs to go to the Super Bowl, it would have been this year. So yeah, with the way Brad Holmes is building this team, like this is going to be a dynasty for years to come.
Well, let's not use the D word. Come on, let's not. Don't stop right there with that, sir. Look, I think what this is a sign of, it's a sign of great leadership that knows how to draft and build a team from the ground up. And here we are in year 3, and no matter what happens next week against the 49ers, win or lose, the confidence in this team going forward, knowing that the team we have now that is, because think about it, going from like last year or even 2 years ago, the 3-13-1 team. They started off, where they were transitioning that next year. We were like, okay, the end of the year they beat the red hot Cardinals. They got a couple other nice wins there at the end of the season, and that was like something to build off for next year. Then last year, obviously, we started off 1-6, but then they got their stuff together, went on that great run to end the season. 9-8. They stopped the Packers from going to the playoffs, and Brad Holmes built on that. And look where we are now. And now I can only imagine what Brad Holmes does to a team that's made it essentially to the Final Four of the NFL, and how you build from there. Like, you're going to take an NFC championship team, win or lose, and you're going to build on that. That is a scary thought for, I think, a lot of teams. And look, with a division, especially where the Bears are probably going to get slightly better. I'm just iffy on their coaching and how well they actually end up drafting. You'd think they'd slam dunk it, but it's the Bears, so I'm not 100% confident what they're going to do, especially with Eberflus as a coach. The Vikings, who knows what they're going to decide with their quarterback and where they'll be next year, but you still got a Justin Jefferson, so that gives you a little bit of hope. And the Packers, let's give the Packers some credit, and we're going to talk about them here in a second, but they have had quite the turnaround. Jordan Love has developed in such a small amount of time. This is going to be a tough division, and the Lions just got to keep improving on where they're at now. So it's, nothing's going to be a gimme.
Yeah, especially like you were saying, draft next year, Lions drafting. Brad Holmes is probably going to do another amazing job getting players, but you also got to look at free agency too. All these star players kind of looking at the Lions now, saying, you know what, maybe I do want to play for him. Maybe I want to play for Dan Campbell and his crazy antics out there. And
It's not. Yeah,
possibly
know that
win
it's not a
a.
gimmick. My favorite thing I'm seeing right now is the side by side comparison of the results the Lions have had to Dan Campbell's speech about you knock us down, we're taking the kneecap on the way back up. You knock us down again, we're taking the other kneecap. You knock us down again, and we're gonna get back up and take a chunk out of you. Like it's that mentality of this team, and he ends that by saying, at the end, we're gonna be the last team standing, and here we are. We are one of the final four teams. I mean, as we're recording this, the Bills Chiefs game is going on, so technically there's 5 teams, but we will be one of the last 4 teams standing in an NFL season, which is absolutely crazy. And what a good jumping off point if you're Brad Holmes for next year. No matter what the end up result is, the fact that this good team that we have could get better should be scary to a lot of teams. And that's just going from a draft standpoint. That's not even saying who are we going to re-sign, who are we letting go, who's retiring, what free agents want to come in, what free agents fit this team, what coaches are coming and going. That's before all that. And it's an exciting time. It's a lot of fun.
Yep. So let's jump into next week here. Previewing the NFC Championship game, Lions versus the 49ers. Sunday, January 28th at 6:30 p.m. on Fox. 49ers played yesterday. They beat the Packers 24-21. Pretty close game there, except for Love throwing that interception at the end.
Yeah.
Sucks for them, but what can you do?
I mean,
So now
Debo Sam. Oh yeah, go ahead.
go ahead.
No, yeah. So Debo Samuel's going down during that game. I don't know what the injury is. If he's gonna, I mean, he kind of came back during the game, but I don't know how dinged up he is.
He should be ready for this game.
Okay, well, we'll see. I mean, Detroit, I saw a lot in this 49ers team that I'm like, wow, Detroit could take advantage of this and that. And
Yeah.
while Brock Purdy, I thought looked good at times, he definitely, if I compared him to Baker Mayfield, I was more scared of Baker Mayfield. Now, what Purdy's got around him is probably considerably better just on the whole as opposed to what Tampa had. I mean, between Kittle and Ayuk and McCaffrey, like, it's not going to be easy. And the Lions have been really good in the run game, holding running backs to below 100 yards. As a matter of fact, hasn't it been all season they have not allowed a 100-yard rusher, or has it only happened like once?
I think a couple times they've allowed it.
Okay. Well, it doesn't happen often, and we're facing a McCaffrey who is just...
Oh,
I
yeah.
watched him do some runs yesterday that I was just like, I don't know how you defend against that. He shouldn't have been able to get out of that, and it was Barry Sanders-esque how he kind of found a hole, kind of like what Gibbs does. So him and Gibbs are going to probably have similar type games, next week. But give some credit also to that San Fran defense. They got some good guys, good hitters out there, good corners. But we'll just have to see. If the Lions can protect Jared Goff and we can get a running game going, it's going to be a very interesting matchup.
Yeah, especially for the Lions. If they do win the coin toss, get the ball first.
It's
We
worked out
can't
for them.
let. What's that?
I mean, getting the ball first is kind of what a weird strategy that the Lions all of a sudden have adopted. Since I think the Packers started doing that and kind of taking momentum early. It almost burned Detroit this week because they went 3 and out on that first drive. I'm like, what a waste of taking the ball first. But I mean, against the Rams, they did it. Or if they lost the toss, they got the ball first. And what did they do? They went down 3 straight drives. So I think against San Francisco, you might want to, I don't know, if they don't go out with the ball, I'm okay with deferring to the second half. I'd be interested to see, can my defense set a tone? Because it's going to come down to the defense again. This defense has got to be able to stop all those weapons. And if I were Dan Campbell and them, I would want my defense out there to try to make a statement early, then let the offense come in and get their groove going.
Yeah, only thing I'm worried about is if the Lions get behind like 2 scores, it's going to be pretty tough for them to get back up there to try and take the lead. So yeah, they really need to watch out for their playmakers, like you said, Kittle, Ayuk, Debo. McCaffrey. Um, they can't let these guys run free over the middle or down the field. So
And all
they
these playoffs, the Lions have not lost a lead in either
yeah.
game, which is
So,
nice. And that's how this team's going to have to play next week. You cannot let San Francisco have a lead in this game. You got to
yep.
fight tooth and nail to make sure that they can tie it up with you, but you got to be able to keep going down and getting that lead and then holding them off.
Yep.
So I'll
And
expect that
then
to be how the game kind of ends up next week. It's going to come down to those last 8 minutes where the Lions are going to have to probably hold on to a lead or just keep the ball out of San Fran's hands. God,
yeah.
that's a
Oh,
stupidly big hat. Saw you turn your head
well,
and I was like, God, that's obnoxious. It's so stupid. So
yeah, I think
stupid.
this
Are you gonna
guy's
wear that to
blitzing
work
on
tomorrow?
Purdy. What? No, no.
You should wear it to work tomorrow. And your
Okay.
chain. Just do it. Just walk in with it. Do it.
Anyways, yeah, do this guy's blitz on Purdy, hit him a few times, kind of throw him off. Hopefully, it's not a rainstorm like this week it was out there. Maybe a little better weather. Who knows?
I mean, if it is, that's when you lean on Gibbs and Montgomery and you just run it. Aaron Jones had a big game against, that 49ers defense. And if we can just have that going with two different backs, I'll take that all day long.
Yeah, it'll be like I don't know. I've noticed the past couple games they put in Reynolds in the backfield over Montgomery. So I don't know if they're just kind of keeping Montgomery on ice, not use him all the time, make sure he's healthy, or what's going on with him.
Yeah, what an interesting call to put Reynolds in. I think that's an interesting call. I mean, he had the big block against the Buccaneers the last time they played. So when I saw him in there, I was like, huh, I don't know what's about to happen here. And they just give it to him up the middle.
Yeah,
That's play calling and situational football. Ben Johnson just kind of dialing up something to kind of make you like second guess yourself as a defense. Like, okay, it's 4th down and goal. Craig Reynolds is in the backfield, though. They're not running it up the middle with him. Like, Ben Johnson out here playing checkers. Or playing checkers. He out here playing chess, not checkers. That's the saying. And I'm just shocked that they have the last couple playoff games, we haven't seen any real like trickeration, no reverses, no uh, you know, crazy sports center trick plays. Like I I wonder if they're holding it all in for that championship game against the Niners and they're just gonna empty the bag.
yep, and yeah, that offensive line can play like they did today. Give Goff time to throw. Goff cannot have any wild throws against the 49ers defense because
No.
they will not drop the ball if it gets in their hands like Bucs
Goff
did
got away with a
today.
couple again this week.
Yeah,
He got away with a couple. That one in the end zone, I thought for sure that dude should have caught. I was flabbergasted. I was mad at that guy for not intercepting it. I'm like, you can't have that ball in your hands and not intercept it. I mean, I'll take it, but you just can't do that. And for the Buccaneers, that was the other thing. Just missed opportunities going up against this Lions team, and I'll take that all the live long day.
yep. So yeah, Lions win today. They go to 49ers Sunday, 6:30 on Fox. So hopefully they won't start too late, and the game won't last until 11 at night. So we'll see.
Well, we'll see, and yeah, we'll see how the vibe is. If they lose, I'm sure we'll be like, oh, we'll wait till Monday to talk about it and reflect on everything. Or you'll
Yeah,
be
I mean,
hyped up. I know. Go ahead.
yeah, win or lose, like this season has been a successful one for Lions, and no
Yeah,
one should be disappointed about it. So,
I mean,
like,
you can be a little disappointed. I mean, you're a game away from the
no,
Super Bowl.
no,
It's, I mean, look, I'm just glad that they're here. And the
yeah,
49ers are a tough opponent. Make no bones about it. I'm not saying the Lions can't win, but I'm also not saying that it's a gimme. The 49ers are a good team. They have the number one seed for a reason. It's in their building, but if watching that Packers game showed me anything, this is a very beatable 49ers team. All these teams that are left are beatable teams. It is anybody's Super Bowl. I know the Ravens are probably the favorite right now of the four. But there's even some stuff that the Ravens showed me that I was like, they could be beatable. Maybe not as easy as some of the other teams, but all these teams, it's equal playing field.
Yeah. So, yeah, we'll see about
Just
next
got to play
week.
clean football.
Yeah, they need to play really clean football next week. All right. You got anything else you want to add?
Nah, I'm just, man, every week when I'm thinking about putting together our thumbnail, I'm like, is this the week where I don't get to put the little team in the corner that the Lions are playing? And I get to do that again this week, and I'm looking forward to putting that together.
All right. Let's go ahead and close it out then.
All right. Guys, we hope you enjoyed today's episode and come back for more. Be sure to visit theworldoffootball.com for news, links, upcoming events, original articles, videos, and more. If you want to get a hold of us, just email us at info@theworldoffootball.com. You can also connect with us by either following our X account, Twitter, or X, Facebook, and Instagram. Just look for TWOF Kalamazoo to get in touch with us in those ways. Also, the links down in the description below if you need to use those. Also, on Tuesday, you can find our flagship podcast, This Week in the World of Football, hosted by myself and my dad, where we talk everything in the world of football. Last week, we talked about the coaching carousel. We obviously talked about the Lions playoff win. We talked a little arena football. So we got a nice gamut and buffet of football stuff over there. If you guys want to go check us out there, it'd be greatly appreciated. New episodes of that show every Tuesday. And also, guys, be sure to click the like, subscribe button, all that jazz. And again, links down in the description below. Words are hard. I'm just like dumbfounded by your big dumb hat still.
Yeah. Well, maybe I'll get you one for Christmas.
That's a whole year away. If you're gonna give me a big dumb hat, you gotta give me a big dumb hat soon.
No.
How much was that? Can I ask? How much was that?
A little bit of money, yeah.
A little bit of money. So 3 digits?
Maybe.
Wow. Okay. That's a lot for a hat.
Yep. Okay. That's it for us this week. Lions win today. NFC Championship game next week. Remember to go Lions. Thanks for watching, listening, all that stuff. Make sure to hit the like, comment, subscribe buttons. And we'll see you next week. Thank you.
Go blue. Honolulu blue.
Yeah.
It's a dumb hat. Big dumb hat.